Hey, Pack! Thanks so much for coming to our meeting last night. I know that it was a lot of info and it was both super chaotic and noisy with everything going on. So I wanted to make a couple of videos for you guys about popcorn to kind of recap everything we talked about, but also so that they'll be available anytime in case you need more info or more support and tips for having a successful fundraising campaign. So I'm going to start with answering a few questions about the generics of popcorn, why and how we sell popcorn. And then there's going to be a couple of other short videos that will highlight the methods of selling and some tips and tricks for those. And periodically throughout the season, I might have some other little videos and incentives and things like that to help everybody keep going. So I know the burning questions on everybody's mind are always, why do we sell popcorn and how do we sell it? So you're in luck because I'm going to answer those questions for you. So the really short version of why we sell popcorn is that we need money. The registration fees that we pay for our scouts every year don't cover anything that goes towards our local pack. So everything we do costs money. We've got meeting rooms to pay for, campsites to pay for, events, belt loops, pins. All of these different things add up, and without having the money to pay for it through popcorn funding, our events and our experience with scouting can't be what it is. So we sell the popcorn in order to raise these funds so that we can all have a better experience. The more we raise, the better our experience is. The only alternative to selling popcorn is to literally ask everybody to write a check to cover these expenses. And these expenses can sometimes go upwards of $250 per scout every single year. So unless you are inclined to write that personal check, I am not. We would love to help you sell the popcorn to get through this. The longer version of why we sell popcorn is because not only does it fund our pack, but it can be so good for our scouts. You might be thinking, yeah, this is just Miss Cheryl telling me all this stuff about popcorn because we need to sell the popcorn. But don't forget that I'm also a parent who doesn't want to write the check for $250 to cover everything. I've watched my scout AJ grow so much through popcorn fundraising that I'm so proud of him for the stuff that he has accomplished in the last couple of years. Most of you who were there last night watched him stand up in front of a crowd of 35 scouts and a room full of parents to talk about why he likes to sell popcorn, how he does it, what his favorite parts about doing it are, and he started his speech off with, my favorite thing about scouting is selling popcorn. I did not feed that to him. This was something he came up with on his own. And 2 years ago when we started this process of selling popcorn, I don't think that he would have been confident to stand up there and say that. So I've watched him grow with his leadership skills and confidence, and a lot of it has to do with selling the popcorn. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to tell you about how we've made it work for our family. So I think that a lot of the skills that these kids learn through selling popcorn are not necessarily things that they could learn in a classroom. That's where I think the huge benefit lies. I mean, we can tell them how to do it. We can tell them what to say. They know how to count. They know how to add and subtract, or these are things that they're learning. But they're not necessarily learning these life skills of having people skills and learning to speak in front of a crowd or a person or to an adult sometimes. These are skills that a lot of people don't get until they're older in life, like adults, or sometimes they may never learn them. I personally didn't learn them until I had one of my first jobs as an event planner, and I had no choice but to learn how to do it. So I really, as a mom and as a scout leader, am inclined to helping these kids learn how to gain this confidence now because it's only going to help them out later in life. I am a huge supporter of helping a kid be an advocate for themselves. I think it's one of the most important skills a person can have. If you can speak up for yourself and tell people what you want, you're only going to be the better for it. So scouting and popcorn selling definitely gives these kids that motivation to start learning that now. Now that that's been said, I know you're all wondering, how do I sell the popcorn? So the absolute most important thing to know about selling the popcorn is that attitude is absolutely everything. I know that that sounds a whole lot cheesier than a $20 bag of white cheddar popcorn, but it is 100% the truth. Think about how many times you've said things around your kids. They may not have been said to your kids, but maybe they've overheard them and you've heard your kids repeat them in public. If your household is anything like mine, I'll bet the things that they have repeated are not necessarily the most socially acceptable. They've probably said them at exactly the wrong time to the wrong person. So think about that in terms of popcorn. If you're going around the house talking about how much you hate doing this, I don't want to go to this storefront today, popcorn sucks, guess what your kids are going to repeat? So the best part you can do for them is to have a good attitude about it, be encouraging, tell them that this is something that they're going to do to help support themselves through their scouting adventure. We're doing this for them. The quicker you can get on board with accepting that popcorn is going to be a part of your life for the next few weeks, the sooner they will too. Trust me, I have experience with this. So I'm going to speak more in my other videos about how certain attitudes can affect certain situations. But generally speaking, you being a leader and having confidence is going to help your scouts set themselves up for success. Give them the tools that they need to get the jobs done. Be available for them. Answer their questions, help coach them, refine their sales tactics. And most importantly, remember that while it is our job to support them because they're children, it is their job to sell the popcorn. The popcorn sales purpose is to help scouts pay their own way through scouting, and that is what we're gonna do. So beyond the attitude, all of the other things you can know about popcorn selling are equally important. The first step to getting started is actually making sure that you are creating an account if you're a new scout, or getting your account reconnected if you are a returning scout and have sold popcorn before. So for those of you that are new scouts, we're going to make sure that links get sent out inviting you to join the Trails End website. And those links are typically good, I think, for 24 hours. So if for some reason you can't get it done when you first get the link, let me know and I will make sure to get you another one. Or you can go directly to the website and get signed up. So in last night's paperwork, and I will also attach it to an email so that you've got it handy, there was a popcorn selling sheet that has the website address on there, as well as the information that you need to get this account started. We just want to make sure that you're connected with the right pack. The best way to do that is after you get registered, if you can just shoot me an email or text and let me know you did it, I can quickly check, make sure you're ready to sell, okay? The second thing you should do is consider, well, I highly recommend downloading the app for Trails End. So as with anything in scouting, nothing is 100% mandatory, but I 1000% encourage you and recommend getting this app downloaded. The app is super user-friendly and it is so much easier to use than the Trails End website. You can do everything that you need to do for selling popcorn through the app, including choosing your storefronts, making online sales, selling in the neighborhood, getting logged in for the storefront sales. It can accept credit cards. You can mark it as cash. You can mark things delivered or undelivered. And it just generally is a really good tool to have. If you are doing storefronts, you will actually need to have the app on your phone because that's how your scout is going to get logged in and get credit. It's super easy to navigate. We're always here to answer questions about it. And the best thing to do is just download it and get started with practice. If you want to do a practice order under wagon sales and just mark it as a cash sale, you can always go back and refund it later so that you know what that whole process looks like. And if you need any help with that, I'm happy to support. As much as I want you to support your Scout and popcorn selling, I want to support you. So please lean on me. Excuse me. So the methods of selling popcorn range from going online to taking orders from, typically this comes from like family members, coworkers, things like that, selling storefront sales, and doing wagon sales. I'm going to have shorter videos on each of these things to help you make the decisions on what's going to be the best methods of selling for you and your Scout. But one thing to know right now is that outside of like the storefronts and neighborhood sales, traditionally the sales are what we call take orders. This is where you're either using the app or the paper order form to document orders from, people that are in your daily lives that you're going to deliver to later. You don't necessarily have the popcorn in your hands, but you're taking the money or credit card for them up front. These orders are due by October 28th and need to be paid for either with a card on the app or with cash in your hand or checks made out to the pack. On October 28th, we're going to make sure that we collect all of those orders so that we can place a big order to fulfill these. And that popcorn will be available for you to pick up the weekend right before Thanksgiving so that hopefully we can get those all delivered to people in time for the holidays. That being said, if at any time somebody is like here from out of town, absolutely needs a bag of popcorn in their hands, please contact us because we can definitely make sure those situations get fulfilled immediately. We do have the stock of popcorn for storefronts and things like that. So there are a few extra bags that we can definitely accommodate some of those special situations. So that's the basis of popcorn. Please think about how you want to sell popcorn, how you're going to motivate your Scout to do this, and watch some of these other videos for the pros and cons and tips about each style of sale. Happy selling to you guys. I think it's really exciting, and my favorite part of the popcorn season is watching what everybody accomplishes. I love seeing these Scouts hit their goals, smash their goals, collect gift cards, and have a good time selling. We will see you soon.